Addiction is insidious. It does not care about wealth, status, or circumstance. It can lie dormant for years, then resurface with a vengeance, pulling people back into its grip. For every person who finds lasting recovery, countless others remain trapped. Much of its power comes from shame and secrecy, from the stigma that labels addiction as weakness rather than disease. Jim Irsay knew this as well as anyone. The Indianapolis Colts owner, who died in May, spent much of his life battling alcoholism and prescription drug abuse. Even as he championed his Kicking the Stigma campaign, aimed at changing how society views mental illness and addiction, he fought private relapses that he felt unable to share. That secrecy, though heartbreaking, underscores why his message must live on. Irsay often compared addiction to other medical conditions. "We don't shame people for heart disease or cancer," he would say, yet addicts are branded selfish, punished rather than supported. He admitted he came by his addiction naturally. His father and grandfather were alcoholics, but genetics never excused the judgment he faced. He had been to rehab more than a dozen times, sought treatments including opioids and ketamine, and still carried the weight of public scrutiny. In truth, Irsay's openness about his struggles was courageous. He showed that addiction is not a matter of choice, but illness. And yet, in his final years, he still felt compelled to hide relapses, fearing damage to his reputation, his work with the Colts, or the very initiative he created. His silence was not a failure of willpower but a reflection of the culture around him, a world that too often equates relapse with weakness rather than part of recovery's reality. Since its founding in 2020, Kicking the Stigma has committed $32 million to nonprofits tackling mental health and addiction, funding treatment, awareness, and community support. Irsay knew real progress would only come when shame was stripped away, when people were no longer treated as criminals for their illnesses. "We have to quit stigmatizing," he said in 2021. "It's horrendous. No wonder so many people die." He was right. His own story is proof. Despite his wealth, power, and access to the best care, Irsay carried the same burdens as millions of Americans: embarrassment, fear of judgment, and the crushing weight of secrecy. His death is a reminder that relapse is not moral failure. The real failure is ours if we do not carry forward his mission, to replace shame with compassion, to see addiction as the illness it is, and to ensure no one feels alone in the fight.